wait. Let's just do breaking news. No more bullshit. No more bullshit.
No bullshit.
Ooh, what a week, man. Welcome to the No Bullshit News Hour again. I hate doing the show this week. It's weird. You know, I like people. I like touching people. Before we get going, Facebook Live is brought to you by Grow Green. Soil nutrients, lights, the supply chain issues will become a problem, so get stocked up. Now's a great time to go get your green thumb on. Start with your own home growing kit for your seeds, for your green. Start learning something relaxing and important in this stressful time. Curbside pickup is available on all phone and online orders. Grow Green, making Michigan greener, one grower at a time on M36 at Whitmore Lake or online at growgreenmi.com. And always American Coney Island, they're closed, but the Coney kits are going berserk. I mean, they're going berserk. So get a little bit of Detroit delivered to your home. It's a matter of national security. Go to AmericanConeyIsland.com and have all the fixings, the dogs, the chili, the onions delivered to your door. Very pleased today we're going to have Chief of Detroit Police James Craig, who's been furloughed, tested positive for coronavirus. His ranks have been hit. I don't want to say decimated, but they've been hit very hard. But before we get going, hi, Karen, you look well.
Hey, Charlie.
Bobby, how you doing?
Hey, Charlie, we're hanging in there.
Yeah, I thought you died last week, dude. You were sick as a dog, and I didn't hear from you.
Yeah, it was regular flu, and but I got over it, and so getting through.
Right on. All right, Mark, how are you, brother?
I'm always good. You know that.
Oh. All right, let me do this. Look, this is serious. Here's the ledger of doom right now. Michigan has now the third most cases in the United States, 11,000 with over 400 deaths. The epicenter of this, I don't even know what to say anymore, is the Wayne County Jail. As I speak, the commander of the jails has died. 3 people are on ventilators. These are just employees. 3 people are on ventilators. 6 others are hospitalized. 61 employees have tested positive for corona. 80 are furloughed. About a third of the deputies are out of commission. And the kicker is we're releasing inmates to the streets and halfway houses who haven't been tested. I know a lot of you don't give a shit about them, but they're human beings. They touch other human beings. And for the life of me, I don't know where the leadership in this state, in this county, in this city. I don't know why there aren't any press reports. This is ground zero. The bus driver that blew the whistle on DDOT, we don't have anything. Remember him? They went on strike for part of a day. He died. The economy. 9 million people have filed for unemployment in the last 2 weeks. In Michigan, that's 450,000, and our computers keep crashing, our unemployment website. That means in the United States of America, during this economic tsunami, 1 out of 20 newly unemployed people is a resident of Michigan. So this is, I didn't want to say killing us, but we got some serious digging out to do. And I would really encourage everybody, drop the partisan politics, drop the bullshit you're saying to each other on social media, and figure out a way to work with each other, because we're going to need each other. What do you guys think?
Yeah, you put it pretty succinctly.
Thank you.
We're in an, I hate to use the word unprecedented because that word is overused, but we're in a time that is territory, and we need to do novel things. I don't know if it's a basic income. Everybody gets a check, or you tell employers that the government is going to pay for the workers, keep their jobs, don't lay people off. I don't know what the answer is, but something big and bold needs to be done, because this is something that I'm 50 years old, never faced in my lifetime, never saw on a scale.
The underpinnings weren't there. I think we've been saying this for years. Here's what we saw. When people miss one paycheck, the cascading calamity of this economy, it was papered over with debt. And now look at us. So It's not very good here. You look at everything. Look at our schools, our roads, our water, our power grid, our unemployment website.
Yeah.
It's clear that we weren't prepared for something like this. And the thought that keeps popping in my head is the whole government is the enemy until you need a friend. And that goes from the low level to the high level. Like nobody likes the government in their life until you need something. And the unknown right now is nobody knows how to handle this. It's very scary. It's very frightening. Even the people in charge, sometimes the perception is they don't know how to handle this. Some do, some don't. And, it's the unknown. Humans hate the unknown.
Well, we're going to have the chief on in a moment. That's a guy that does. The police do. So they know what to. Now you see in government who really does, because there's nothing here. I'm sorry. There's no school plan, right? Here, governors, school board people, you want to know what you do? Everybody graduates. Everybody just go to the next grade. Let's be done with it. Stop arguing.
Amen.
Every kid moves along, unless it's the kid who didn't show up for 80% of the year. So you know what you do with him? You test him, because if you don't test him and give him the opportunity, you're going to get sued. So just move everybody along. Let's get going and start digging out of this. That seems simple to me.
Yeah, and you got to do it in a mass quantity, though. You start nitpicking
The whole thing.
with money, with loans.
Well, yeah, and you can't even worry about if the kid stayed, he would have tested and maybe failed and been held back, because like you said, you're going to get sued either way. You either let them all finish or let them all go. Unless,
of course, you didn't put your kid in school. That's on you.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, though, and I know this might seem radical, but this thing isn't going to last forever, and maybe, we'll be good by June 1st. What's wrong with sending the kids back to school in July? Maybe they don't get to start in end of August, early September.
I'm all for that.
July.
Why not?
I would say that's not a bad idea, but I don't expect everybody to move like that. Change up your summer jobs. There's things to do with the infrastructure. I don't know, air conditioning.
Exactly.
You know how our schools are.
Yeah.
So just move along. Move along. You missed 2 months of school. One year out of your life.
I'm with you.
Just move along.
Yep. Amen.
Let's not fucking fight over. We got a lot to do. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. And,
all right.
I don't remember my school days that well, but how much did you really learn in the last 6 weeks of school anyway?
Right.
You were fucking around like, all right, it's summertime.
But see what you just did? What you just do? Do that again. Do that again.
Summertime.
Do it again. Do it again.
Why?
Just do it again. Do it.
Summertime.
Do that again, but do it again. I'm making a point here. Do it again. Action. Summertime. I'd like to welcome in the chief of police. Sir, guess what you got? You got all Detroit school kids going, summertime. Uh-oh.
Interesting time, Charlie. Very interesting.
Sir, it is because can you, I know you got the numbers there probably. Can you tell me how this, first of all, how are you?
I appreciate you asking, Charlie. I appreciate you and Karen. Y'all been reaching out and checking on my health. And I got to tell you, for the first time since I tested positive, I can start to feel a little stronger. Appetite's returning. I had no appetite. And again, I'm not complaining because, I've been able to quarantine at home with the disease. There are many, as you know, that are in hospitals fighting for their life. And so I'm hoping and praying that this thing doesn't continue to get worse, but that I'm moving now in the right direction. So I really count my blessings on this.
What's it feel like?
I tell you, for me, like so many here in Michigan, I noticed this when I got back from California. Seasonal allergies in this state are horrible. And when you're talking about going from winter to spring, over the last 3 weeks, the burning eyes, coughing, headaches, all the things that we know, very flu-like. And so my cough just kind of continued. And so I started listening to all the COVID I didn't want to believe that I could have it, but I was strongly urged, you probably need to get tested. And so I did that on last Thursday. And 1 week ago today, I found out I was positive. And so, again, it could have been worse. Not that it still can't get worse, but I'm optimistic. But, you know, Charlie, when you talk about the impact to the police department, you know, as of today, right now, today, we have a total of 114 members of our organization who have tested positive. Of that number, 97 are sworn, 17 are civilians. Now, when you talk about quarantine, that's the number that is largely talked about in the media. Right now, as of today, sworn and civilian, we have 636 members quarantined. Of that number, 509 are sworn members, 127 are civilian.
509. That's out of about 2,500, right?
Yes. So when you look at now, there's some good news. We've had, since we started the quarantine, 175 have returned, and every day we're returning. You know, many times our members get quarantined because there's a possibility they came in contact with someone who was COVID positive. Some may be exhibiting some symptoms. So some are on what we call self-quarantine or ordered quarantine. This department has taken a very, very aggressive posture because, one, we recognize that if we care about the people that do this work, we don't want to take chances. Just get them out of the workplace so they can get tested at some point if necessary and move on. But I don't think there's any other department that's had the impact. I've talked to my colleague out in San Francisco. As many cases they have in the city, it's not even close.
Why is that? What's up with us?
Charlie, that's the biggest mystery. And I want to say in a large part is because we have taken an aggressive position. But then we've had two that we lost. We lost a decorated and very popular leader, one of our captains who ran our homicide team.
John Parnell. Let's remember
John
him.
Parnell, wonderful man, strong leader. Before him, we lost a 911 call taker. And when you talk about being prepared, Charlie, and I know this is a big thing for you, when we built our $8 million new communications center, one of the things I pushed and pushed and pushed for was to have a backup center or a fallback center. Why? Because in any city, if your communications center goes down via terror attack or any other major issue, what do we do about answering calls for service? And so we need to have a backup. So in this instance, when that one call taker got ill, and later we found out after his death that he was COVID positive, we ended up closing down the $8 million communication system. We transitioned very quickly.
Over Linden, right? On Linden Street?
On Linden, yeah.
Let me tell you a story about Linden, okay? This was a couple of years ago, before you got here. Somebody was murdered right there. You know where you put your swipe card in to get into the center?
Yeah.
And he laid there on the sidewalk in front of the police's 911 headquarters for like 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah. Can't make this shit up.
Wow.
Can't make it up. Let me say this then. So here's what I know. You quarantine, you go back on the job. We don't know what this damn thing is. We don't know that, whether even if you've had it, couldn't you catch it again? This could go on for months. So here's what I know. We got a lot of hungry people in this town that aren't going to get an unemployment check, right? Because they didn't file tax or what have you. We're going to have the kids running around. We're letting the inmates back on the street because the jails are a horror show. You've got cops that are out. This could be a long summer for the Detroit police. Are you planning for that?
The answer is resoundingly yes, we are. When this thing opened its door with us, we started talking contingencies right out the gate, the what ifs. Again, I had no idea that I'd be sitting here talking to you today or where we were 2 weeks ago. But just instinctively, I knew that we needed to start planning for the worst scenario. And so one of the things we started talking about as far as a contingency, that what if a large number of our stations start shutting down, employees are getting sick, quarantines. And so we started talking about, dismantling those units that are more support in nature, like all our specialized investigative units, and putting them back in patrol. Well, we've done that. In fact, we've moved 80 sworn officers back into those precincts that have been most impacted from our specialized units. One of the specialized units, we work in federal task force.
Yeah.
The FBI, ATF, no longer DEA, but all of them, we work in these task force. So we ended up moving all of our task force officers back into the precincts. It just seemed it was the right thing to do because the task force really wasn't operating anyway.
Wait, what do you mean there? I mean, what are the feds doing? So you took the cops, so what are the task forces doing?
Well,
Daily.
Some of the federal law enforcement agencies, frankly, are furloughed.
Wait, what?
They're furloughed. Now,
wait. What do you mean? What do you mean? Furlough. The federal law enforcement is not working?
Well, I would imagine they have certain segments, but in terms of their enforcement ground, the people that we work with, they're not working. So,
what?
Is this because of the COVID-19 or is this for something else?
COVID-19. I mean,
well, let me see
just
this
like but I want to make this point, Charles. I think it needs to be made. When you talk about our first responders, I'm talking about local police, state police, county sheriffs, and I'm going to add in our federal uniformed officers like ICE. I'm sure the Capitol Police are still working. Uniformed officers are still on the ground, first responders in the face of this unknown danger. Those are our heroes. They're the ones that are still out there doing the work. And even though we have investigative staff, just like those with our federal partners, our investigative staff, guess what they're doing now? Many of them are donning uniforms. They're wearing uniforms and they're in scout cars responding to calls for service. Local law enforcement, first responders, these brave men and women are still out there going to work. Kudos to them.
But as one cop told me it's half joking, but I'm right here. You're with us. You're not picking up bullshit crime anymore. I mean, you're going to have to, right? We're not. Everybody's got to behave themselves.
Well,
because you're not going to pick them up.
Well, let me just say this, and you might remember about a week and a half or so ago, I came out with an encouragement order, basically to say, let's not focus on those nonviolent misdemeanors, those low-level offenses. Number one, for two reasons. Trying to, minimize police officers' contact unnecessarily. We know that they're going to have to go into situations, whether it's a high-level misdemeanor like a criminal sexual conduct or some other high-level misdemeanor or a felony. They're going to have to contact with those people. Domestic violence, they're going to have to have contact. But to a lot of this other stuff, so long as this is not a habitual complaint or somebody who's just wreaking terror in the neighborhood, we really don't want them out engaging in non-critical contacts. And so, and we're not the only agency doing it. A lot of other agencies have adopted a similar practice, and it makes sense.
Chief, will some people misinterpret that as, kind of like a open order for low impact crime?
Well, people who don't know, let me just tell you what some people interpret. I've been battling over the last 48 hours people who have nothing to do with their lives, but sit on computers and gossip, monger. I was dead by all accounts.
You were
putting out in social media.
On social media.
Am I right? Am I right?
It is easier, Chief.
You do
You
look
know,
good.
and it's like, who does that? How about becoming part of the solution?
Right.
It's true.
You know, we're dealing with a serious disease, and somebody thought it was cute to just start an unnecessary rumor. And I got to tell you, thank God for the hip hop artist here locally, Cash Dow, who reached out to me directly and said, Chief, I just want to tell you what they're putting out on Snapchat. And so she was able to refute it, but why do that? And Charlie, it's something you said at the beginning of your show. We're all in this together. Can we just work together as one
Fucking right.
and do this thing instead of getting involved? We got people who are so insensitive and selfish that are engaging in activities in different places across the city, whether it's in a park where 30 or so are out playing pickup basketball, hanging out in gas stations. What do they think this is? I mean, this is the real deal.
It's the real deal. If I might.
You know, somebody pointed out too, they said, you know, a lot of times these are people that have no hope, or these are people that feel like they have nothing to lose anyway. So why be concerned?
Well, some of them just, you know, I don't know, you can put any kind of adjective you want to it. You look out in California, you see some of the images out of California. There's some places where people are hanging out on the beach like it's just another spring day. I mean, who does that?
Well, here's it's not been a good year for violent crime in the city. So let me bring this all the way around. Murder's up about, you know, year to date, and you know how these things spike, but it's up about 50%. Murder. Shootings are up about a third. So I don't know what's coming, but you famously said, look, you encourage law-abiding citizens to arm themselves. Would you encourage law-abiding citizens in this time that we're living in to go get themselves armed?
Well, you know, Charlie, my Second Amendment position is consistent. I think every law-abiding citizen should be armed. I'm not going to attribute it to COVID-19. I think every American has a right to protect themselves, protect their family, protect another person. You know, one of the things that we've seen since March 13th, when this, you know, really heightened quarantine or started, as you pointed out in one of your recent articles, we've had 6 homicides and 44 non-fatal shootings. Some of our violence has been attributable to domestic violence, and maybe because of everybody being forced into a location. I don't know the answer to that. Our call load seems to have reduced. And so we have seen over the last several weeks a decline. It seems like people are not engaging in as much violence, but the violence is still obviously present. We don't want to take that away, and our cops are still responding to the violence. But it's a real
assholes are still out there. Yeah, you know, it's about, you know, I mean, we don't need, for the month, it's about 15 and 65, which you just multiply that out, not a good year. But the assholes, I think that's what we want to call them, whether you're on the beach or you decide you're going to take over a park, they're going to be out there. And quite frankly, I'm trying to work with you and anybody else to minimize your people, your rank and files contact. Get the fuck in the house, right? Put the gun away. I'm just at a loss, this country. You know what I mean? Like you said, bag your fucking garbage so the garbage man doesn't get it all over him when the wind blows. I don't know what's wrong with us. But we got to help you find it.
And I got to tell you something else, Charlotte, I want to share with you. We've had a couple of, and I'm going to use the word rare instances, where we have quarantined our own employees. And some of these individuals, without being properly tested, now these were non-COVID positive people, but they were quarantined for a reason. They opted to go into a work environment. I won't go into details. despite the fact that they were not tested, they were quarantined. In fact, in one instance, one that decided to come into a work environment issue later came back positive. So what did they expose their fellow man and woman out doing this work? And then there was another one who just decided he was quarantined, not COVID positive. He decided he was going to work a secondary job. So he goes to work in his secondary job. Straight selfish. So, I mean, you don't think enough about yourself, but then you expose others in our workplace, the people that are out doing the tough work each and every day. Got a problem with that.
Yeah, but
real problem. Now, again, this is in two very rare instances, not reflective of a large number, but why do that?
Chief, before we went on, Bob and I and Mark, we were talking about, because we've seen a few instances where people are opting to deliberately cough on other people in grocery stores and, public places.
Really?
Yes. So
that one I have not heard.
Oh yeah, they are. Yes, it's there. I mean, there have been videos. So the question becomes: is coughing on someone without covering your mouth, is that an attack? I mean,
assault.
Well, exactly, and in responding accordingly, as though your life is threatened. I mean, how do you? What does that look like?
Karen, you bring a great point.
Wow,
you bring a great point. I think if, let's say hypothetically, that a person who knows they're COVID positive purposely coughs on another person, one could certainly argue that was a felonious assault. But you have to be able to prove.
But how do you respond if somebody coughs on you and you don't know? You don't have time to test them. They don't have something on their forehead. I mean, how do you respond? Because to me, a vehicle is a weapon. A hammer is a weapon, and under these circumstances, a cough and a sneeze unprotected is a weapon.
You're right. So
it'd be like an unloaded gun.
Intent. Was the person intentionally trying to infect someone? Was the person positive? And if not positive in today's environment, would it constitute then a simple assault? I wish I had the answer. I'm not a lawyer, but I think given other like crimes over the years, if a person certainly knows and willingly tries to inflict harm in that scenario, I think, but again, you'd have to know. You'd have to know if the person was positive COVID and their intent was to infect someone else.
Well, even if you coughed on it like you were faking it, right? That is still what would you call intimidation? You can take it for that. If I was a cop, I'd do it.
That's mental abuse. That's a mental attack, because now you're questioning. I don't know. I've just seen a lot of that. People have videos all on social media of people in stores where, tempers are flaring, and their defense now is to cough or sneeze on the person that they're arguing with. So
watch. It's illegal to spit on somebody, right, Chief?
As it should be.
Well, it is. It's certainly an assault. If you spit on someone, it's certainly an assault. So you can be arrested. Yeah. So I guess in this environment today, one could argue it could be a misdemeanor assault.
Wait, what we can do it on them homeless downtown? They're starting to, I know it's being policed, but they're starting to break shit. They're looking hungry because there's nothing to panhandle anymore. It's drug addicts and the mentally deranged. If this keeps up, what are we going to do? Because if I'm a cop, I don't want to touch them.
Our police have been addressing some of the homeless issues. One of the problems is a couple of the shelters have closed.
Say it again.
A couple of the shelters have closed. And certainly that's a problem. And, when you look at these men and women who are homeless, it's undoubtedly, if you think about Skid Row in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I am.
You just got to imagine that's a petri dish for COVID. And I wouldn't underestimate our homeless here. They're out in the environment. And we just don't know enough about this disease to determine how does it pass. I'm hearing stuff now that it stays in the air. If you cough or sneeze, it can just kind of hang out and for some time. And so there's just so much we don't know.
It's got me scared
about this. It is scary.
It got me scared. And I don't know where we don't have enough sense to build a tent city in one of these big vacant lots where you can socially distance some of these guys, but give them a place where we can ladle out some soup and have them in a healthy place to sleep, at least just for this. And then we can go back to hating each other again. But I'm telling you, a virus doesn't know 8 Mile Road, doesn't know if you're a female, doesn't know if you're a child, doesn't know if you're black or white or brown or red or yellow. It doesn't know.
That's actually, Charlie, that's actually not a bad idea. It's not that you're embracing and empowering, homeless camps, but given what we're dealing with today, just thank God we don't have what they got going on in Oakland, San Francisco, and LA. But that said, we might be in a place where we could do something a little more responsive and creating those social distances.
That would be part of public safety in some capacity, because not only is it protecting those people who are on the street, it's also protecting the public, because even though we are limited where we can go, people are still out. Some people are working in essential positions. Other people may be going to the store. I mean, so there's still that risk for, encounter and contamination.
Right.
So we're getting the rapid response testing today. The federal government shipping it in, meaning we can turn this around in a matter of minutes. I don't know how effective they are. There seems to be some.
I can tell you, it's very effective. In fact, I'm sad to report, my brother, who is also a longtime city employee, had been feeling a little under the weather. Got tested by that rapid testing before it was actually released out. He came back positive within 15 minutes.
Sorry.
So how's he doing?
He's okay. He's got some symptoms. He had to go to the hospital because once he was notified that he was positive, he passed out. So they took him to the hospital. He was in the ER for about 4 hours. They ran a few tests on him, and so he's at home recovering, and hopefully his symptoms won't get any worse than what they are.
So I'm going to ask you to dip your toe into some politics outside of your purview, but
I don't like doing that.
I know. Yes, you do. Again, I know people's feelings about each other, and there's not a lot of brotherhood and sisterhood in this country in normal times. But I'm sticking really to, public safety, because I love you guys and gals, and I care about you, and I know what you do.
I know you do.
I lived through 9/11, and I don't want to see that. I would recommend, and I'm wondering if you would, that every jail employee gets that, every one of them, and that every person, no matter if they're a scumbag or not, in the jail system gets tested before you kick them back out to touch us. Would you support that, sir?
Charlie, I like that idea because if you're in a place, just like anywhere else, if someone we had that individual who came in and did that presentation out on the east side of Detroit, Stoudemire, the guy that passed.
Marlowe.
Out of Marlowe's death, we had to quarantine 25, and I want to say that of that number, maybe 4 came back positive. So keeping with that thinking, it only makes good corporate sense that if you're going to release prisoners back into the community, particularly if you've been in an environment where some have come back positive, some have died, then it just makes sense that they get tested first. Check the temperature, get them tested, and then release. That would be, in my mind, kind of a responsible way to approach it.
Madam Governor, Madam Attorney General, Madam Prosecutor, Mr. Mayor, Mr. County Executive, Mr. Sheriff, take the chief's advice. Focus. Over here, it's a huge cluster. Get it done. I don't want to hear it anymore. People, you know how I do. If I'm on it, I'm going to stay on it until, as the chief of the Detroit Police just said, it gets fixed as it needs to be fixed. I'm no expert. We need to do this. And we need to protect your guys, because downtown, when the homeless are doing this and they're checking if the doors are open, the cops get out of their cars and they check the doors. Touch. Get them out.
Well, hopefully what's become institutionalized among our officers, that they're not readily touching doors and they're using those wipes, in addition to wiping down the interior of those police cars, that they're wiping down door handles as well. So,
well, one hopes, but how long does that stuff last?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, we're so
reality.
We're so conditioned to function a certain way. I mean, it's very tough being a police officer today in the field. Nothing compares to it. Nothing compares to it.
Nobody planned, right? I mean, where's your stockpile of stuff? I don't think. Maybe it is. Maybe you should have done that. I don't know. But I know there's budgets for Homeland Security. There's $3 million a year to county alone. The state has it. Where is public safety's stockpile of stuff that I thought I was paying for?
Well, I can tell you, in terms of the PPEs, this was something we talked about early on during this pandemic. We wanted to make sure. We heard pockets of complaints that there was some PPEs not available. We went out, we audited, and our stations are looking pretty good. That was the last report I got. But again, the other thing that we've changed as far as how we function out in the field, all of our officers are donning masks now. This just started over the last 72 hours, but they're actually wearing masks. And then you hear from the experts, the pundits that say, well, wearing a mask is not going to help you. Then you got others that are now saying, well, if you wear the mask, it can help you. There's a lot of confusion, no doubt. The head health director for the government seems to be locked on. And I tell you, we have a good system here. I got to applaud the work of the Henry Ford Health System, just doing a phenomenal job. And our rapid testing, I think we're one of the first places deploying that for our first responders. And again, I got to applaud the mayor. He reached out to an entity out in Chicago. He brokered it. He made it happen. And that thing is on the ground right now. And I tell you, Charlie, the beauty of having that capability, particularly to our officers who are quarantined, we can now quickly go in, even though they might be quarantined, we can get them a test and know within 10 to 15 minutes whether or not they're positive.
Chief, you mentioned that the officers were wearing masks and part of the recommendations are not for the N95 mask, but for people to use bandanas and scarves. What does that do for maybe not necessarily a level of distrust in the city of Detroit, but between community and police officers, when now, you've got, are these gang symbols? Are we hiding? Are these robbers? Does that heighten the level of distrust that already exists between especially young Black men and police officers?
I don't think so. I think, Karen, I'm going to friendly push back a little bit. Here in Detroit, I think we have an above average relationship. I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect. It's not perfect anywhere. I mean, just the fact that what we've done, you witnessed this firsthand. I mean, what department has reached out to these young men in the drifting community? I've gotten calls of prayers and supports from the leadership of the drifting community. Said, Chief, you got to hurry up and get well, because when this thing is over, they want you to race.
They want you to race, but that's what I said. Maybe not in Detroit, because I think that, and certainly a testament to you and the department from top to bottom. But just maybe at the national, because you have worked in other large markets across the country. Just your take on that from a law enforcement as a law enforcement professional.
Well, I think it's important that we got to keep our police officers safe. Because if the entire police department starts dropping, guess what? We got a problem. And so we got to do everything we can to keep them safe. I got to ask, you talked about my picture, Karen. Is that Nipsey Hussle from Los Angeles?
Yes.
Painting in the back?
Yes.
All right, just checking.
I've got I've got LeBron on the other wall and Nipsey on this one.
Let me take this. Look, I almost forgot. For police departments, nurses, medics, first responders, firefighters, all of you, garbage workers, bus drivers, all the people that are necessary that serve us. GM is making masks and more. Okay. One of the guys in charge of that got a hold of me. Let me give you a website. It's easy. givingback@gm.com. givingback@gm.com. You go there, fill it out, your organization, what you're looking for. You tell them you want the surgical masks and the N95s. And they'll put you on there. They're making them now. And that's the best I could do in bulk. I know Ford has reached out. They're trying to help the county. Givingback@gm.com. Go there and get on it because this thing's going to go on for a while. You're going to need these. Right? We got a shipment from the government. So there you go.
That's good, Charlie.
Yeah. Secondly, Chief, on your downtime, have you been making any videos? Are you doing any?
Charlie.
The TikTok, Chief.
This has actually been.
Don't do it, bro.
I'm not quarantined without positive COVID. I'm quarantined with positive COVID, so I am not even close to 100%. And so, I'm surprised I'm sitting here talking to you as long as I am.
You sounded bad when you came on when I talked to you this morning. I was a little bit worried.
Yeah, I had a little raspiness in my voice. I've gotten a little better, but
we cheered you up, Chief. It's us. We're making you feel better.
Well, this is a good thing. I might have to blow off my next call. I'm supposed to be talking to all the chiefs across the country are having a Zoom call at 2:00. But
I'd die to get on that.
That'd be an interesting call, wouldn't it?
Give me a code. I'm muted. Yeah, that'd be an interesting call. That's the ground zero of it. Look, the reason I asked about the video, I'm just saying it. Look, everybody in a position of power, you ask for it. Everybody's entitled to do what they want. Could you imagine Trump doing that shit? It's ridiculous. Look, you're the big pants. Act like it because we need to believe somebody knows what they're doing. And I really do appreciate you coming on because, I've been out with you guys. I've been out.
Right.
They're working.
Right.
However broken it is, however much money you don't have, they're there. That's a fact. The deputies are going to work. That's a fact. So we know who's in charge.
I agree.
So thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
All right, be well and don't die again, okay?
Yeah. I'm glad you made me.
Don't even cough on me like that. I don't know what this
I just coughed. I just coughed when you said that. But no, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on here. And I think the big takeaway is, can we all together as one work together, put all differences aside, and let's just make this thing happen.
Right on. Find something constructive to do.
Right. So, hey,
All right,
thanks again. You all take care. All right.
Feel better, Chief. Thank you.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
See you later. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Feds are furloughed. It's interesting.
Okay.
You said what, Shirley?
Said the feds are furloughed.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that.
Who would be ringing my door? Okay, you guys, someone's at my door. Someone's at my door. That's like, you're not allowed to be at my door.
Well, that's fine. Go ahead. Bob and I and Mark, we'll hold it down. Go.
Maybe I'll take this with me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's go on a trip through Charlie's house.
Don't touch anything. Tell them to go away.
Yeah, who would be knocking on the door?
Who's doing that?
2:00.
Maybe you got a delivery from.
I got to do this. You know why I got her close to my face? Because of all the freaks online that would be looking at my house.
Oh, so they don't know the interior, the layout of your house?
Yeah, because people, who's pulled up in my driveway?
It's a great shot,
weird.
though.
Whoever the dog is barking at.
Dude, it's.
Do you have your weapon, Charlie?
Yeah, go get your shotgun.
Oh, wait a minute. It's my daughter's karate instructor.
Uh-oh.
Sensei J.
Wait a minute. Is she getting classes at home?
No, they're doing Zoom karate. It's amazing.
And what is she doing in the driveway?
Is he doing it from your house? Why is he there?
Hold on. Hey, Bubba.
Bubba?
I don't know. That's my wife.
Oh,
Hey,
I was
Bubs. Hey, Bubs.
Yeah.
Sensei J's in the driveway.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Tell Bubba I said hey.
Hey, Bubba. Karen says hey.
Hi, Amy.
So
Her
does
name
Bobby.
is Bubba. Bob,
Yeah,
it's
she's
Bubba. Bubba.
That's freaky. A guest.
Yeah.
How weird.
No one
Hey,
gets
you know
guessed
how
there.
happy you are to see the mailman these days because you don't get to see anybody.
Hand me the mail. Hand me the mail.
The UPS
Mine's the
guy
mail
comes,
lady.
it's like Christmas.
I'll be happy when my stimulus check comes.
You got some time.
I don't even know if I got one. Yeah, I know, man. Everything here. I forgot. Okay. No Bullshit News Hour brought to you by ADR. Confident. Get the job right, on time, on budget. ADR Consultants, 248-318-9424. Guess what? You're a business. You're a business, right?
Yeah.
Your projects have slowed down. You got to figure out
This is true.
what you're entitled to small business loans. ADR. Our good friend Barry Ellen Tuck. Honest, ethical, smart. 248-318-9424. Whether it's government or private industry, reduce your costs, increase your bottom line, navigate the government. ADR.
This is too much, Charlie. It's a lot.
Oh, Luke Nowacki. Hey, Luke, let me just give out Luke Nowacki's number, right? For your personal financial strategy or for your business or for your pension fund. Pinnacle Wealth, 248-663-4748 for rational financial advice. I got a message from somebody I don't know saying, I want to tell you something about Luke Nowacki. My sick mother who made $14 an hour. Luke Nowacki sat with her. He advised her, didn't charge her. He treated her with dignity, a little person. The guy said, you don't even know who you hooked up with. And yeah, Luke is a really decent dude. He's smart. He's knowledgeable about the markets, and he'll listen to you. People are lining up now.
Yeah, we were telling everybody to call a long time ago, remember? We kept saying it was coming. We said it was coming.
248-663-4748. It alliterates. 248-663-4748. And of course, money's in a pinch. You have equity in your home. Hall Financial rates are at an historic low. Everything's at an historic low. There's some place where you can float your home, reduce the amount you're paying each month. Seriously, these lines are long now. So call our friends at Hall Financial, 248-308-5000, or go to davidhallmortgage.com. They support the show. We support them. Help yourself. David Hall and Associates, 248-308-5000, davidhallmortgage.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1467435. And I mean that. We don't really have advertisers that we don't have a relationship with because it's just weird to me because it's got to come out of my mouth. Right?
Otherwise,
Sorry.
never mind. I was going to make a joke. I'm not.
Go ahead, make the joke.
No, I'm not. It would be
Hey, Mark, you know what?
Yeah.
Johnny Medic.
Yes. You want me to
Johnny
call?
on the spot?
Yep.
Yeah, but guess what he's doing? I don't know if we're going to be able to get him. Guess what he's doing? He got to run
Oh, no.
in the middle of this, and it's CPR.
Oh, wow.
Boy.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. New York Fire, Detroit Fire, right? Because they are also medical first responders. They're not paramedics, right? But they got medical training. They've been told to lay off. No CPR,
Well,
right? Don't get near him. This is Johnny on the spot. This is a guy who works triage at the hospitals and then works a second job as a Detroit paramedic. He's like one of the dudes. He wanted to come on and talk. And if you want to give him a buzz, Mark,
I'll try him.
I don't think we're going to get him, but
It's worth a shot.
you know, I'm just for the people that do shit. I don't like people that talk.
So does he do CPR now or no? The official word is they're not allowed to do it.
I'm curious, dude. I mean, right? We hear this is the thing about like no bullshit and real journalism is what are you really doing out there?
Well, yeah, because the first instinct of these all these first responders is to save a life. And, how do you roll up onto somebody who they need CPR and you're told not to give it to them?
Well, I've also heard too that, and I'm not sure if this was limited just to certain cities, but, if in fact you had a patient that had no pulse, don't bring them into the hospital to resuscitate. If you didn't get a pulse before then, just let it go. So people with other health issues are also being negatively impacted by this whole thing because the resources are just, overwhelmed.
Oh, they don't have body bags.
Wow.
They're on body bags. So when someone dies from this, now they pack their nose and their mouth with gauze, wrap you in plastic, put you in a bag, wipe the bag down, and then put you in another bag. They're running out of bags.
Wow.
They're ordering tractor trailers at the county morgue. This is very serious, And again, you don't got to waste. Here, I did this on Facebook last night. I said, I put this and I said, caption this. I was just joking.
No, you weren't.
I kept the thing. I'm proud of it, But I'm going to tell you a story about that because a friend of mine in the business talked to me this morning and he's working from home and he had one of these stacked up there or something, right? Like in the background. And he got a call or he got a message from a guy going, hey, dude, do you know what time you're living in? The fuck is that? To which naturally, a human being, he fired back at him. Relax, motherfucker. We're all trying to get through it. And then he told me he thought about it. And he called his buddy in the Air Force. And his buddy in the Air Force said, yeah, man, that guy was right. And I said to my friend, I go, did you put this in the background on purpose or was it already there? He said, I put it there. See what an honest man he is? Mm-hmm. He's an honest man. And then he said, I thought about it. And I wrote the man a message back apologizing because he was right.
Wow,
see, and that guy, that's my friend. I'm very proud to have a friend like that. Yeah, no Johnny, huh?
Yeah, he's probably too busy saving lives.
Hold that sign up again.
Why, you want to rag on my penmanship? I was trying to make it big enough for you to see.
What does that say? No Johnny.
No Johnny Medic.
No Johnny Medic, which is okay because he's out doing real work.
Yeah, he is doing real work, unlike us.
But that's a sign of character and integrity, Charlie. For somebody, one, to be able to reevaluate or reconsider what they've done, and then to go back and apologize for it because they knew it was offensive to somebody else. That speaks volumes. Especially somebody in the public eye, because people don't do that. They just want to shrink away and say, "Hey, I was right," or forget about it. So that says a lot.
Well, and it's tough being in the public eye, and I just didn't think about it. Didn't think about it. But that is the ultimate trinket to nothing. This should have got me fill-in weekend anchor. Here I come.
And look where it is today.
It is. It works perfect. It's an easy one to change, too.
What's that, bro?
It's an easy one to change when the toilet paper's out, too.
Look at that.
No fumbling around. See? Look at that. Yeah, nice.
It is starting to... I got to tell you the story about how you get one of these, though. This is not how I got it. But normally now, you as the reporter have to nominate yourself.
Yeah.
What?
And then you pay $300 to nominate yourself, right? Like, no, thank you.
There's your award.
No, thank you. Because that's not my culture's not congratulating myself.
I was nominated for an award once, and there were some other people up for it. We were asked to buy ads for this event.
Yeah.
I bought a $350 ad, I think. I won. I didn't really feel like I won. I felt like because I bought the ad. So I guess it's kind of a... What was Trump's term? The quid pro quo?
Yeah. Yeah. All awards have to be nominated. Usually a company will do it, but a lot of them, are personally
self-nominated.
Yeah, self-nominated.
But you see what it's doing to us? And I'll tell you what's really behind this is in the news business, it never stops. There's no end of the season, right? There are
no sweeps anymore.
Yeah.
There's no party. There's, and it can grind you down. Mm-hmm. And in TV news today, local TV news, they make you do 2 stories in a day. That's why it seems empty, because it is.
Right?
It is. There's no way to get deep into it. And so you got to concoct things to like, okay, that there's the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
And then the new season starts. But nobody's out there. You guys got to do the jail, man. And you got to hold the power accountable. The job is not to let's all be together in this time, right, of crisis and hug each other. Our job as no bullshit reporters is, you see the chief? Like, I'll hammer his ass, right? But we respect each other. He does his work. I do my work. He reads it. I know what he's accomplishing, what he's not, and it makes it better. So.
Well, you mentioned the chief. Pretty interesting, though, that he didn't know the condition of the jail.
And what did he say?
Right. He was surprised.
He said, fucking fix it.
Right. I mean, but isn't that kind of amazing that the chief of police doesn't know the condition of the jail that he's sending people to? But,
That's not his wheelhouse, but
yeah.
He knows the condition of it.
Well,
He didn't know that that's what's going on. And if you think about it, he said, what, 115 people are out, right?
Out of his department, yeah.
Are tested positive. His department's 2,500 people. So far, and I know the number is higher, officially 62 people in the sheriff's department have tested positive, and there's only 500 deputies. Do that math.
That's a lot.
They're a quarter the size and got half of it, so the infection rate is double.
Wow.
And they're putting hands on people, and then they go home to all the communities. This is not.
Charlie, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but I just want your insight. How is this? Give me, what do you see the next 30 days looking like? I mean, the United States is now second to Spain in terms of confirmed cases. I mean, where are we headed?
Well, I would say we're the third largest populated country in America, and we're the third largest by landmass. We're huge, and we're rich, and we move. Okay, so basically, this is Europe, right? About the same size, about 100 million here, whatever. It's the same size. So if you look at Europe, that's probably what you're getting here.
Yep.
I would encourage you, don't lose your mind, do what's asked of you, and don't behave like Spain. They didn't take it seriously, right? And they got whipsawed. This is a flu that spreads 3 times stronger than the normal flu. And in a normal year, the flu will take out 50,000 people, right? And we have vaccines for that flu. So it's really serious. Don't lose your mind. Find constructive things to do. And by the way, if you're going to clean your house out, right, with all your furniture and shit, store it behind the garage for like a month or 2 months. Don't do that to a fellow human being. Yeah. And have these guys, my garbage guys, I saw them. They were wearing tattered restaurant gloves, like they were ripped.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they get filthy. And everybody says, well, it's automated. It's not automated. Don't do this to them, right? Try to whittle down. And what I'm really worried about when this is over, and we will get through it, is the money. Because all of this have and have not we were talking about before was a warning. This wasn't a shit on anybody. It was a warning that something's around the corner. It just so happened to be a pandemic, right? But it could have been any defaulting of loans. We're here. Michigan, again, is hit the hardest. Per capita, we've lost more jobs, except Hawaii. And Hawaii's tourism. Nobody comes to a tour here. This is what we're living in. And if we're going to start, then that's what's going to happen. That's my criticism. It's scary.
It is. I mean, you want to, stay positive and focused and that whole thing, but the uncertainty is quite scary. It's scary.
It is. But you can be anxious, but don't be scared. Don't be scared of life's coming at you. This is not 1930. It's not 1918 when the Spanish flu was going around.
Right.
We're not dropping nuclear bombs on. The world's not at war. We can do this. We can absolutely do this, and we will do this. And again, remember, the chief, there are contingency plans. We know, right? Our capital city is Detroit, and don't laugh at me when I say it. That's our big city.
It is.
Okay, look. People are hungry. They're not going to get the checks. There's not an unemployment for them. School's out. The police are sick. They haven't been paid in the best of days. What do you think's probably going to come?
Hell, to be honest.
Yes.
I mean, because people are going to shift to survival mode at some
Right.
point. They are. I mean, and so what does that look like? I don't know. But they are. I mean, that's a natural human instinct.
Hey, well, you're right. It's, again, I'm telling you now, get ready for that. And for me, I'm sorry, when I know night after night, this fucking phone right here, this thing goes till 4 a.m. Let me read you one. Ready? This is just what happens. Because people are following what's going on.
Right.
Here, let me see here. Okay, this coming out of the jails. This is a higher up. Let me make sure I don't say any names here. It would be greatly appreciated if you could ask, why are inmates still piled and crammed into elevators from different wards and still going to recreation? Why are there 100 cases, 1,000 pairs in each box, of gloves being hoarded in the basement of Division 2, the maximum security, instead of being donated to hospitals who need them? Why are deputies still wearing the same mask they were issued Monday? They were told that was the only mask they were going to get, and they had to sign for it, had to sign for a paper mask. 10 deputies are working recreation, can be reassigned and cut down on overtime, somebody's thinking, and cut down on infection exposure. So, person that sent this, there you go. This kind of shit. I don't need dancing videos, but I'm just a citizen. But I'll tell you what, if I saw Trump doing that shit,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yes.
Nobody do that shit. It's not funny. And the way to govern is not to be hip on Facebook.
It's true.
I agree.
Because I'm not seeing it. Want to know why it spread? Here's my impression. We took half measures as a state. We waited for other states to do it. We tried to soft landing it, right? Then everybody was thumbing their nose at authority like the owner of the casino who decides he's going to hang up tarps. And that'll keep people doing. This is what happened. The buses, you didn't react to them quick enough. You're not reacting to the jail quick enough. That I have seen in my decade here, folks, this is not normal.
Hey, Charlie, do you have any anecdotal stories about people when they're let out of the jail? You said they're not tested. Did they take their temperature? Do they give them any kind of instructions to, self-quarantine? I mean, what do they tell them individually when they leave?
See ya.
Bye.
Nothing.
They don't have a database where they're going. Here's what I hear. Like a lot of them with the tethers, the incorrigible guys, they're sending them to the halfway houses, the drug rehab joints, right?
Oh,
and every
come
day,
on.
the sheriff's department's got to go find these guys because they'll abscond. And so
you're solving one problem by making two new ones.
You're injecting them into the community.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Now, last night, a guy told by one of the guys that handle him, shit himself. You wear the orange when you're a trustee. That means you get to work and move around. They found him like this in the cell. He had shit his pants, had a fever. They kicked him.
And in the jails, are there not, because that guy's email or whatever that message was he sent to you sounded like they're not quarantined in their cells and they're still moving around freely.
Right. They're mixing and matching. When I went there 2 weeks ago to take a look at it, know this was coming. Elevator number 2 broke. They got jammed like it always does. And a deputy was in there with 3 inmates. 3. That's not even safe.
No. Yeah.
That's how under
COVID
that's
or
how
not.
undermanned it is.
Wow.
And I'll blame us all. Because again, we spent $400 million on what we ended up getting as a whole, the failed jail. Nobody did a day in jail for that. the reason I do all these is, folks, here's your money. Like, it's gone. And everybody's eating steak at home that made money on that one, right? Yeah. Meanwhile, now that we need that, we don't have that. It's all like this. I'll give you another story. We had her on our show. Marion Fontana, the head of the Widows and Survivors Association of Ground Zero. I met her as I was profiling her husband's firehouse. They were going to close it like 2 days after 9/11, big protest. I met her. We develop a relationship, reporter. She becomes an advocate. Once the gold was taken out of Ground Zero, out of Deutsche Bank, they removed the bullion. Mm-hmm. They were going to turn it into a reclamation project, just bulldoze it, take the bodies, throw them in Fresh Kills landfill, right? She called me up in tears. And I said, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm the reporter. But what are you thinking of doing? She says, I'm going to get all the girls together. I said, you tell me where you're going to be. I'll be there with my pen. I can promise you the cameras will be there. They did it. It stopped. And it became a recovery project, as the dignity would assume we would do in the first place. So that's, I'm not getting on board with Rudy Giuliani. I'm not getting on board with Whitmer. I'm not getting on board with Trump. From the ground, we, the reporters, tell them in the suits what's happening so they can have a non-bootlicking view of things, right? Because a bureaucrat is going to tell the boss what he wants to know. That's really supposed to be our job. So I'm just going to focus. I know, hey, Oakland County, I live here. I know there's an issue with the jail. I know we've got first responders here. I can't do all of it. I'm going to take Capital City. I went out the other night with a cop who's now in quarantine. So I'm a smoker, and they, like the chief said, it's, allergy season. Mm-hmm. I'm like, so I'm worried, right? But I will keep doing it because I can be of some help. I do feel it's necessary. And I am wearing the gloves and the mask, and I'm not getting near people. I do that, I come home. My wife goes to the store. I won't do it, but I feel, Mark, for your children, and Bob, your grandchildren, Karen, your children, that I got to keep them honest. You can't, even the chief of fucking police said to fix it. Once you fix it, I'll shut up.
Well, Charlie, I read some of the Facebook Live comments, and Tariq Beydoun said journalism must be resurrected. Like, it's not what it used to be. It's not. It's coming to something else. And then we had another viewer point out that Ronnie Mitchell is also watching and said, we got to remember too, we got people out playing in the parks. When people come out from whether they're coming out of prison because they're out of school, whatever, we still have people in such a deliberately close confinement that we're contaminating or cross-contaminating because some people are asymptomatic. They don't know if they're carrying the virus. So, we're not doing any of this the right way. We're not.
Well, and to that point, if people are like, there are people in jail, who really cares about those people? If people want to be cold and callous about it, it's not always about them. It's about who they're going to pass it to and spread it to. And I don't know why that message is so hard to get through to people. That
I think
it doesn't matter.
Because when you hear people talk like a murderer, like OJ, man, he's going to jail. No, he's not going to jail. He's going to prison, right? Jail means you've been sentenced to a year or less, or you're waiting for trial, or you're booked overnight. Yep. You come and go. It's a turnover every day. It's a whole different thing. But last night, when there were questions given to the governor, I heard questions about the prison system, but I didn't hear anything about the jail system. And that's the one we should be concerned about. Again, it's the only place I know of besides the hospital where strangers commingle, they cohabitate, they sleep together at night, and then they're out. At least in the hospital, they're looking at you. In jail, they're not. So this is a public crisis if you think this is a crisis. And there are a couple of people out there that don't.
And
it's not.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Charlie. No, go ahead.
Stop sending me the conspiracy theory fucking videos.
No.
But we also got, I like knowing that people are watching and reading, and I certainly appreciate that. So we also had a listener / viewer send us some links saying, hey, people are deliberately coughing around the country and they're being arrested for such. And she sent us some links. So Natalie, thank you for that. We'll check it out. But
thanks, Natalie. Remember the cop that's got to go arrest that asshole.
Yeah, but that's a big deal. People are now doing that. I guarantee you, if that happens to me, come and get me out of jail. I'm not going to tolerate it. That's
by the way, jail. That person's going to jail, right? And that person has rights because we're not in martial law. Like
that's true.
Abraham Lincoln suspended habeas corpus, meaning you have rights, and they're going to let you out. You have rights to make bail.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're coming and you're going.
Will you come and get me, Charlie?
Of course I would.
Well, thank you.
But here's another one. And I was asked this by county officials who, by the way, I haven't seen anybody make any public statements.
Right.
Nobody.
I sure haven't.
Why are our courts still having in-person hearings? Arraignments are done by video, but probable cause hearings for felons and whatnot are brought into the courtroom. That's the judges, that's the lawyers, that's the deputies.
Yep.
That's right. That's all the civilians who work there are exposed. Can you please just do it by video? I don't know what's wrong. We've always got a reason why we can't do stuff.
Can I ask
School's done.
An odd question? Is there a way to just postpone that for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, or do they have to? I mean, I know there's just a major backlog in courts, but is there a way to postpone that?
I would say non-essential shit. Yeah, like trials.
Yeah.
That's postponed. But again, not an attorney, right? But I know a few. Mm-hmm. Probably a probable cause hearing would be much like an arraignment. It's just another step they added. So you can't indefinitely suspend somebody's arraignment, right? You have to charge them.
Well, there's
3 days.
There's laws that say you have to have an arraignment in so many days.
Exactly. Well, that's the Constitution, bro, right?
Right. So
it's case law.
I don't know that you can suspend that.
So I'm sorry. I know. Look, I don't even remember who I voted for, but this isn't a political thing with me. If you're the attorney general of the state, right? You're the leader. I know maybe I'm a little rough, but I'm my heart's breaking when you're out here looking at these cops and jailers and stuff. Is when you're the attorney general, make the call, because I don't want to see kitty cat pictures. You're entitled to do it, and I apologize. Maybe it was a little too much, not helpful. But now you know where I'm coming from. It's a ton of pain and fear out there, and just some good, sharp, focused leadership. And I know you're working your ass off, but I'm trying to show you another problem over here that you got to take care of now, because one moment, 12 sheriff's employees of the courts, right, have tested positive. Get what I'm saying?
How many? Like 60, you said?
Well, of the 60, 12 of them work the courts. Yeah, like the bailiffs.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is an issue. So we probably got to work on it.
Every place is a petri dish. Somebody pointed out about nursing homes. I mean, when you've got people that are living in close confinement, sleeping in shared quarters, jails, I mean, the courts, all these places are petri dishes.
Yeah, they are. And this is, you were in government. If you were on the other side of it, I like how the chief handled it.
Right.
He didn't even lie. He wasn't lying and bullshitting. Yeah, crime's up. It's up, right? He's not lying about it, because we're all trying to find an effective way to help him help us. So, yes, these places are petri dishes. This is where our focus should be. Absolutely. Right? Why? You notice how the buses are running downtown and nobody's on them?
Yeah. A guy from one of the bus drivers just suggested, he was like, there's nobody on these buses, and the people that are on them, still aren't necessarily, respecting the guidelines that they've asked in terms of, they have to board at the back, but they're still able to go to the front and back. It was like, why not just shut down the bus system for a while? Because I have seen people waiting at the bus stop but the numbers aren't there. I'm not sure it's justifiable. But at the same time, I can certainly understand the city not wanting to put those people who depend on public transportation, at a complete disadvantage by just totally shutting it down. So that's a quandary.
Well, all you need it for is the grocery store. That's all it should be at this point, right?
Allegedly, yeah.
Well, but if you need to get to the grocery store, you need to get to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Or the doctor,
right,
if they're trying to get to the doctor, but that was another thing. This testing at State Fair, like you have to have a vehicle. There are a lot of people in the city of Detroit that don't have vehicles. So what does that do if in fact you have somehow secured a prescription to be tested? Do they do like drive-throughs and turn you down if you're not in a car?
Yeah. And the other question is, and I don't mean to be divisive or bitter, I'm not, but the public safety is getting tested first, right? As they should. Sure. And I believe the inmates should be also tested, and people aren't going to go for that because why should a scumbag get it? And I don't. But obviously we've gone over the reasons. But I am curious. I don't know where to get a test. I have a doctor. Right? I don't know how TV personalities and city council presidents get their test when they don't have 102-degree fever and you're on the air in your basement the next morning. How do you get tested? Maybe this new thing we have, we all get tested?
That's how China contained its numbers, though. And I know everybody said, well, it's a different form of government. But they tested everybody, and they quarantined those who tested positive, so there wasn't any type of cross-contamination. So,
Sure, but the CIA's now saying they lied.
We're still doing that kind of haphazard,
we have
shot
a
in the
problem
dark
with the
testing.
We have a problem with the testing, and enough people are not being tested. I couldn't get a test. I tried to get a test.
Really?
Let me remind everybody, You are an American. We're the greatest country in the world. We're the richest country in the world. Where is it? It's not just Trump. It's not just Whitmer. It's not any of them. It's all of us. We have to demand more and keep our eye on what we think is being done. It's been 2 decades since 9/11. 2. I don't remember any civil defense response practice test by our emergency personnel in the city, any chemical warfare response, any natural disaster response. I don't know where our equipment is that I thought we had. We don't have ventilators. We don't have a master plan for this. We can blame the federal government, right? I guess Obama maybe had one. Trump got real. Where's the state's response? Where's the county's response? Where's the city's response? And where was your own response? Oh shit!
Bob's got it.
Don't do it, Bob.
Bob, did you just cough in your hand, dude?
Yes, he did, but he's at home.
I did.
Yes.
So now you gotta wash your hands before you touch anything.
Immediately.
Do you need a toilet tissue? I'm gonna strap this bitch to my motorcycle, man.
Nice. Like a hood ornament.
Yeah.
I was gonna say put it on the front of the Cadillac.
Yeah.
That was like, was that Marlon Brando in what was it, the Wild One? No, nothing.
No, nothing.
Okay, Marlon Brando, the Wild One. Okay, another one, Dr. Strangelove.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely watch that. That's good. I watched it. It holds up.
Great film.
And anything else anybody's watching we should know about?
I'm watching All American on Netflix, and I love it. It is great.
Quick synopsis. What is it?
It's too deep, Charlie. It's about a young African American football player. He goes to Beverly Hills so he can play, but there are all these underlying connections about friends, family, the perpetuity of the burden that parents have and then give to their children. It's really good. I like it. The disparity between those who have and those who don't, but yet and still the family challenges that are shared by both. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it.
Mark, what's the name of that movie? What's the name of that movie with Sandra Bullock? The football movie?
Blindside.
Oh, Blindside, yeah.
Yeah, is this Blind Side when Netflix scratched it out?
They stole the
Not
story.
really. It's kind of a combination of a whole lot of things that you've seen, but I'm just trying to look at it kind of, just for that particular show itself. Tay Diggs is in it. Not a fan of Tay Diggs, but I really like the show. There's some young actors that I think do a phenomenal job. So
Not
all
a
American.
fan.
No, I'm not.
Bob, what are you watching?
I'm watching a thing on Showtime called Hunters.
Oh, it's on Amazon Prime.
Or Amazon Prime, yeah.
Phenomenal, yeah.
It's phenomenal. It really is. And I think I'm 3 episodes in.
Yeah.
And I would definitely recommend it.
Fictional account of Jews in America in the 1970s hunting down Nazis that live here now.
Yeah.
Oh, and I know a Nazi hunter. I actually went to a Nazi's house with a Nazi hunter here in Macomb County.
Only you.
And you know what's trippy?
What?
He had Bambi and
His name was in
Thumper.
Macomb County.
He had ceramic Bambi and Thumpers on his front yard.
Oh. That's how he hides. Who would think?
Who would think a Nazi would be a fan of Disney?
So you can imagine how we edited it, right? Which is Nazi hunter, and then we got a picture of like Bambi and then
The
Thumper.
crosshairs.
And you got the.
Hey, so what's with this tiger thing that everybody's talking
Tiger
about?
King. Oh, you haven't watched it yet? What's wrong with you?
Because I watched the trailer. I was like, I'm not watching this crap. It looks like trash to me. I couldn't watch it. What
It's
is it?
trash, but you didn't like Baby Boo Boo.
What?
You didn't like Baby Boo Boo.
No. Who was Baby Boo Boo? I like
Remember?
Honey Boo Boo. That was
Honey
Honey
Boo
Boo
Boo.
Boo.
Honey, yeah,
I did like Honey Boo Boo. Now she's all grown up. I did like Honey Boo Boo. I liked watching poor white trash. I was like, oh wow.
Well, if you
That's
like,
what Tiger
that's
is.
what
It's
Tiger
trash.
King is.
Yeah, I'm over it. I've had my fill. I don't wanna
Oh
see
man,
it.
Tiger King is the best collection of white trash I've ever seen this side of HBO's Meth Storm. Both of them.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm a
Well, Karen, here's what I want you to do.
What?
I want you to watch it, right? And think of it as a documentary, because once we come out of our houses and the economy's all fucked up, you better be brushed up on white trash.
Q just responded. She's watching on Facebook Live. Hey Q, and she said, "You must watch Tiger King." So if I'll do it just for you guys.
Is it Anquinette?
Yeah, of course. Is there another Q?
Anquinette, send me some. Because I can't go.
She's probably killing it right now.
Yeah. Ask her. Hey Q, are you guys delivering? Are you delivering? See if she gets back up.
Okay, I'm watching the comments. So
Yeah, do they deliver?
That reminds me.
But I don't smoke it because I have firearms.
So what does that mean, Charlie? I don't
You're not
smoke.
allowed to
Period.
smoke
But
weed and have firearms.
oh, you're not.
It's
Okay.
illegal. Yeah.
Well, I'm good. I'm going to choose the firearm over the other stuff.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
What?
The chief's a Second Amendment proponent.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So if you're going to get a firearm, it is open. It's essential. Don't go crazy.
Q said for you, she will do, Charlie.
Sweet. All right, Q. I will. I'll call you later. You can have Sensei Jay bring it over. Well, okay, guys. I love you.
Love you back and more.
Love you too, show. Good
You
show.
know what? Action Jackson, get better. Detroit cop. He's like the George Patton of the streets. I was out the other night with him, and he's got the cucaracha now, and my wife's pissed. So if I get it and I don't die from it, I'm gonna die anyway because she's gonna kill me. But all of you battling and all you doing the work, Johnny on the spot medic, no problem, dude. Thanks for doing the work. And one of my favorites of all time, Bill Withers, has passed, 81 years old today.
Yep.
And he's got a lot of good songs. This is not his best song, but it's his most appropriate song for the day, right, folks?
Amen. Yep. Very much
Mark,
so.
thanks for doing it. Bob, take care of the cough. Karen, I'll talk to you.
Thank
And
you.
for Charlie.
Guys.
See you, Q. I'll be calling.
Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem